Hi, I'm Olivia, and so the emotion that I chose for this movement response is it's called Shanta, and it represents kind of peace and tranquility and like keeping an equilibrium in yourself. And so this one's like, if you look at it like in the yoga form, it's the boat pose, and I read that it just kind of represents like, you know, like when a boat's like sailing through a sea, like they hit waves and stuff and they have to like kind of stay centered and like afloat, and like that just is kind of the representation of what this emotion is just like having an equilibrium where you come back to and have a steady mindset and keep yourself like just steady and peaceful and mindful. And so for the first picture that I went with, and this is going to be where we will start the movement, is I'm going to do this movement. And so this one doesn't like directly translate. Like I know like sometimes they do like this, but that's not like exactly what we're gonna do here. This is just more so like representing like that we're going to be like on the ground, and we're going to be just like kind of centering ourselves and like starting at the ground level, kind of working our way up like into ourselves. So that's why I chose that image. Then the next image that we'll do is we'll go here. So for this image, I feel like it just kind of represented like being in tune with your body and like your emotions and how you're feeling, because obviously you can't come to a steady place if you don't even understand how you're feeling. So we're just gonna start with like this, where we start on the ground, we're starting at an equal place, and then we're gonna move to touch our body, and we'll do it in 2 motions to just kind of represent being in tune with how we're feeling and understanding like what we need to work on, and just finding peace and being just yourself in that moment. And then the next movement that we'll be doing is this one, which is more so for breathing, is what I kind of saw it as, is like a breathing technique. Is he's kind of just representing himself breathing in and breathing out. So obviously when you're trying to calm yourself or do anything, like breathing's the first thing. Like you get nervous and your heart's gonna go fast. So with calming and peace, like you want a slow heart rate, you want to slow things down, so you need to slow your breathing down. So we'll start here, and then we'll go and touch our body so that we can be in tune, and then we're going to start slowing our body down by representing it with our hands of the deep breath in and the deep breath out. And then the next image is this one. And this one to me just kind of represented like the freedom of like taking it all in and feeling free to be just yourself and letting go of things. So that'll be the next move. So start here in crisscross, which I'll do in a moment, and then moving to touch your body. Then we'll breathe, and then we'll let it all out, let it all go, stretch our bodies out. And then the next movement comes from this image, of them hugging, which to me just represented, because, you know, when you're trying to find peace with not only yourself, but also other people, you have to come together as a community. So I don't have a partner right now, so we're just gonna hug ourselves. So after we let go, we're gonna come back in and hug ourselves to just kind of remember ourselves, we're loved, we're worthy of feeling peace, feeling at home with ourselves. Then the next movement we will do comes from this image of the water. They're getting really small for some reason. The ocean. So the ocean is just like a very peaceful place, very calm place to be. And so when you're looking at it, I chose the ocean as like, because that's kind of like my calming place. So after we embrace ourselves, we're gonna let go like we are like waves in the ocean, to represent just flowing with our bodies and flowing with how we feel and coming back to that. And then we will do a movement. So I chose like stargazing because that's another thing that brings me calm and peace. So we're gonna actually include that when we go up like this, because then we're looking at the sky. So to represent the stargazing, we'll just bring our hands up here to represent that we're also stargazing. So that's when that'll be brought in. And stargazing just brings peace and clarity to the mind. And then I chose this picture, which this will be the first thing I do actually, because this picture kind of represents like relaxing your face. So taking away any emotions that are outside of like what you were feeling, like what is happening right now. So when we start our dance, we'll make it like really dramatic and be like, and then like pull it in together to represent that we're pulling ourselves together. And then the last two are this. So this is, I chose that as more of like an example of flowing water. So just like the ocean, kind of flowing with things. So after we end up, we'll end up, what's it called? Yeah. We'll end up hugging ourselves, and then we'll let go of and be flowed. And then to represent kind of like the flow of the motion, that's when we'll stand up to represent that we're flowing through everything. And then the last one is center. So they talked a lot about an equilibrium, being in the center of everything. And so to represent the center, we will, after we stand up, to represent our flow of the motion, and then we'll come back together like this, just to represent that we're pulling everything back in together. So this is the full movement. We'll start out down here and crisscross, and we'll go up here, touch our bodies, let it go, stargaze, hug our bodies, roll it out, and then, oh, I forgot the breathing. Roll it out, and then we will move. Okay, wait, I'm gonna stop that whole thing. I'm going one more time. So we're starting out really excited, then we go down, then we touch our bodies, then we do our breathing, then we let it all go, we stargaze, we hug our bodies, we roll it out, then we stand up, and we pull it to the center. And those are my movements.